Look up on a clear night, and the scale of what is out there is almost impossible to comprehend. The observable universe contains billions of galaxies, and each one is packed with billions of massive burning stars. For most of our history, we had no way of knowing if any of those stars hosted their own planets. But as our telescopes sharpened their focus, the theorizing ended. Within a single generation, we have moved from guessing if other planets exist to cataloging them by the thousands. This diagram illustrates the habitable zone, the specific orbital band around a star where temperatures allow liquid water to pool on a rocky surface. With thousands of these worlds now confirmed, the math points to a clear conclusion. The raw chemical ingredients required for life are scattered everywhere across the cosmos. The universe is nearly 14 billion years old. It has the planets, the water, and the time to produce biology over and over again. And yet, when we listen to the sky, we hear absolutely nothing. In the summer of 1950, the physicist Enrico Fermi looked at this overwhelming math and asked a remarkably simple question: where is everybody? If even a fraction of those habitable worlds produced an intelligent species, some of them would have a millions of years head start on humanity. They would have had time to expand, colonize, and broadcast their presence across the entire Milky Way. We know exactly what to look for. We scan the stars for structured radio frequencies, unusual chemical signatures in planetary atmospheres, or the dimming of light caused by massive orbital engineering projects. We have spent decades running these searches. So far, we have not found a single confirmed transmission, structure, or artifact. This total absence of contact forces a difficult conclusion. Our math is overlooking a hidden variable. Something in the void is preventing civilizations from ever making themselves known. The simplest explanation is our tools are incredibly primitive. We built our first large radio towers less than a century ago, a fraction of cosmic time. An older civilization might have abandoned radio waves millions of years ago. They could be communicating using lasers, neutrinos, or physics we do not yet understand, broadcasting on channels we simply do not know how to tune into. Then there is the physical barrier of space itself. Even if a civilization is broadcasting into the void, those signals are strictly bound by the speed of light. This model visualizes that delay. A message sent from a star system 500 light-years away takes 5 centuries to arrive. Because of this, a civilization could rise, send a greeting, and burn out before that signal even crosses the halfway point. The galaxy could be teeming with intelligent species, each one completely isolated, trapped inside a bubble of their own time and space. But there is a darker possibility proposed by evolutionary biologists. They call it the Great Filter. The theory suggests there is a nearly impossible hurdle somewhere on the evolutionary timeline. Maybe single-celled organisms almost never evolve into complex animals. Or perhaps once a species unlocks advanced technology, it inevitably uses it to destroy itself. This leaves humanity facing 2 very different realities. Either we are incredibly lucky and have already passed the Great Filter, or the filter is still ahead of us. If the filter lies in our future, the silence isn't empty space. It is a cosmic graveyard of civilizations that reached our level and failed. In that scenario, the lack of alien voices is a direct warning of our own approaching extinction. What if life itself is incredibly common, but the ability to build a radio transmitter is a biological fluke? We can test this biological hypothesis in our own solar system. Moons like Europa are covered in cracked ice, concealing massive deep-water oceans underneath. On Enceladus, we can actually see water vapor and organic molecules erupting into space. Deep beneath these crusts, shielded from radiation, biological organisms could be thriving in complete darkness. But an ocean locked beneath miles of ice is never going to produce a spacefaring civilization. It produces microbes, or perhaps simple aquatic creatures, life forms that will never build a telescope or look up at the stars. Finding a single swimming microbe in our solar system would prove biology is common everywhere, while explaining perfectly why no one is calling us. Despite the immense distances and daunting silence, our search goes on. Facilities like the Arecibo Observatory spent decades sweeping the sky for artificial signals. We have to remember how little we've actually seen. If the Milky Way were an ocean, we have essentially scooped up a single glass of water to check for fish. But the answer to the paradox might not be about where we are looking. It might be about when. This timeline charts the 13.8 billion year history of the universe. For most of that time, conditions were far too violent and volatile for complex biology. The stable era for intelligence is only just beginning, right at the far right edge of this graph. We might not be late to the party. We might be the first ones to arrive. Humanity could be one of the earliest technological species to wake up in a newly stable cosmos. Somewhere out there, drifting in the dark, another young species might be looking up into their own sky, asking if they are alone. Until they find us, our search continues.